Morning. So we're here in Orange County, Florida, and I bring you greetings from the other Orange County, you know, the one with the anything but real housewives. So when Hal asked me to present today, I was both humbled and honored. I said yes, because you can't say no to Hal. But, you know, I then thought, gosh, what have I done? Because, you know, we don't claim to be experts at Westamerica. We haven't arrived at our destination yet, but we have set sail on a journey. So I like to use the illustration of a rudder on a ship. When a ship is anchored, you know, you can turn that rudder all you want to and it's not going to have any impact on that ship. But once your ship is moving forward, you can use that tiny little rudder to guide you in the direction that you want it to go. In the same way, if we're just standing still in business, we're going nowhere fast. But if we simply move forward, even slowly at first, we can begin to make small adjustments that may one day have a huge positive impact on our future. At Westamerica, our ship is moving. We're different today than we were yesterday. We're still figuring things out. We're still, you know, kind of turning our rudder to respond to different life situations and challenges. But today I'm going to share our journey and some of the lessons we've learned along the way. By the way, I recognize that at a show like this that we're all on different journeys. Some of you may be ahead of us in the journey. Some of you may feel like you're behind us in the journey. But regardless of where you're at, my hope is that you'll gain an insight or two that can help you along your way. So let me start by saying I was a bit confused. So I've been hearing about cross-channel over the years, and then I was hearing about multi-channel, and now I'm starting to hear about Omni-Channel. You know, frankly, something I'm used to hearing is, honey, won't you change the channel? So I didn't know what Omni-Channel was, so I GTS'd it. GTS stands for Google that stuff. So here's what I found out. So multi-channel is the use of multiple marketing channels to interact with customers. This approach assumes that customers may have a single preferred method of interacting with a company depending on the situation. In an effort to maximize performance, each channel may have its own strategy. Now, Omni-Channel seeks to develop an integrated and seamless customer experience regardless of the channel that they choose to use. They might start in one channel and progress to another on their way to a decision. So what does this mean for you and me? Well, regardless of whether our clients refer to it as multi-channel or omni-channel, most of us are called upon to simply execute the client's marketing communication strategies and campaigns. The more channel resources we can bring to bear, the more arrows we have in our quiver, the greater the chance we have to win their business. So in today's world, if all we have to offer is print, we may not be invited to too many marketing parties. So what are the channels that some of your clients may be using? Depending on the market, channels could include print, email, video, landing pages, social media, online ads, promotional events, product packaging, broadcast media. Is it possible that you could add any of these to your mix? That's a question we started asking a few years ago. So for the balance of my presentation, I'm going to share with you where we were, brief history of our company, and a turning point that we experienced 3 years ago. Where we are today, we're on the move, beginning to see a little momentum. Where we're going, a glimpse into our future, and I'll also share some of the lessons we've learned along the way. So honestly, it would make my day if you could walk away from today's presentation with even just one idea that you could apply to your own businesses. So like so many in our industry, Westamerica is a family-managed business. We began in 1977. My dad, my sister, brother-in-law opened the doors to the printing company. Well, really, that was our name, the printing company, very original. A couple years later, we changed our name to Westamerica Graphics because it sounded a lot more corporate and professional. Every year we grew, added more services. Back in the heyday, it was hard not to grow because everybody needed print, right? Technology, market conditions changed for all of us about 10 years ago, and they haven't been the same since. So we bumped along in relative mediocrity for several years. We had a good reputation. but that wasn't enough. For most of our clients, we looked about the same as any other good printer in our area. All the trade pubs said we needed to become a marketing solutions provider, so we changed a few words on our website, but we were still basically a printing company. My favorite pastor, Rick Warren of Saddleback Church, has said, people don't change when they see the light, only when they feel the heat. Well, in 2013, I was feeling the heat, both personally and professionally. In May of that year, I lost my loving wife of 31 years after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. In June, my father passed away from lung cancer. And in July, my company lost its largest multi-million-dollar client when their strategic sourcing director decided to use a single source, and that source wasn't us. Almost overnight, we started to bleed some serious red ink. In August of that year, I was approached by my old college buddy, Bill Burnt. Bill owned a marketing communications company specializing in the credit union industry. The financial sector was still reeling from the 2008, meltdown. Bill's company was on a downward journey of its own. That led him to reach out to me for a proposed merger. I was hesitant at first, not wanting to make a major life decision in the middle of my grief. I was scared, afraid of the unknown, not sure what it would feel like to surrender control of my company. In a room this size, it's likely that many of you are also in a season of feeling the heat. Well, like me, you may be experiencing fear and uncertainty about the future. I overcame my fear when I recalled some more wise words from Pastor Rick. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward in spite of your fear. So I moved forward. Bill and I started meeting, talking. The more we talked about our future together, the more excited we became. We started to make a decision to give it the old college try again. If we were going to go down, we would go down swinging. So we decided to have some fun again. In February of 2014, we completed our merger. Ours turned out to be a merger made in heaven. We had very little account overlap, and there were tremendous manufacturing synergies between our two companies. Financially, operationally, it made sense for us. For many of you, it's possible that a merger or acquisition may be part of your future strategy. And you may have heard that more mergers fail than succeed. Well, we couldn't afford to fail. We're old guys. We don't have time to start over and rebuild. So we studied, we talked, we listened to people a lot smarter than us. We wanted to learn from their experiences and hopefully get it right the first time. We learned about 3 keys to a successful merger. The financial numbers, they need to make sense. That's actually the easy part. We learned that these 3 keys are far more important than just how the numbers look. First, you've got to have alignment of vision, direction, and especially exit strategy. It's always easier to get into a partnership than to get out of one. Begin with the end in mind is definitely a wise strategy. Second, clear job descriptions and performance expectations for all key leadership roles are a must, both for the executive's sake and for the people that report to them. And finally, and most importantly, your teams must share the same core values and culture. You simply cannot fake a healthy culture. So we spent 6 months planning the merger, another 4 months handling construction and moving to a shared facility. Toward the end of that process, I became aware of a book that I highly recommend called The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni. In this book, Lencioni makes a compelling argument that being smart's good, but it's far better to be healthy than smart. So Lencioni, he shares that smart companies are good at strategy, marketing, finance, technology. These are things that are taught in every business school in America today, and they're easy to measure and track. By contrast, healthy companies demonstrate minimal politics, minimal confusion, high morale, high productivity, low turnover. In a healthy company, team members are free to achieve at their highest levels. By the way, I'm not representing that we're perfect every day at Westamerica, but this is the kind of healthy environment that we strive for. During our first couple of months as a combined company, our executive team met together every 2 weeks in a special planning session to work through each chapter of the book. It was one of the most valuable learning and team bonding exercises that we could do, especially at this initial critical stage of our partnership. We had some lively discussions as we worked through together these 6 critical questions. So regardless of whether a merger or acquisition is in your future, I recommend you take a step back with your leadership team, do a little soul searching, and use a guide like this one. You'll absolutely gain more clarity, direction, and future decisions are going to be that much easier. I'm going to share with you how we answered these questions at Westamerica. First question we addressed is, why do we exist? So at Westamerica, we exist to help our clients grow. It's our mission statement, and it drives what we do each and every day. Most of what we produce for our clients is related to their marketing and business development efforts. Our clients all want to grow their business. We haven't met one who wants to see their business decline. So we may do great work, we may win some quality awards from time to time, but that means nothing unless our clients see their business grow as a result of their marketing investment with Westamerica. The second question is, how do we behave? This refers to our core values. And we wanted to capture the essence of who we really are versus a statement that might look good on a lobby wall. So during those chaotic first few months following our merger, we were blessed to witness firsthand how our employee teams worked together so positively. So what we witnessed and experienced together became our core value statement. Can do, will do. This speaks to our attitude, how we tackle challenges. All-in client focus. This describes our commitment to our clients. We have an org chart, and the clients are at the top of the org chart. Play nice, play fair. This refers to how we treat each other, our clients, and our vendor partners. The what do we do question, that's simply like a brief description of what it is that we do. It's not intended to be an elevator speech or anything like that. So quite simply, we're in the marketing communications business. We create and deliver multi-channel marketing communication solutions for our clients. Fourth is, how will we succeed? So we call these our strategic anchors. They're like a 3-legged stool. They're each equally important for the health and stability of our company. And we use these as a guide when making important business decisions. The first is make wise investments in our people, resources, and technologies to provide industry-leading solutions to our clients. Like many of you, we have limited resources, so we need to be smart about how we invest our time, our energy, and our finances. The resources we bring on board must contribute to our leadership position in our marketplace. Second, foster a positive culture of high-performing employees rewarded for team and individual performance. Culture is king. We need to nurture it, and we need to create opportunities to reward good behavior. And finally, contribute to the health of the various communities we serve through responsible corporate stewardship. This has to do with giving back. We've been blessed, and we desire to be a blessing to others. Speaking of corporate stewardship, I know we're not alone in this. I'm proud of our industry because so many of you have a heart to serve others. Being good stewards and wanting to give back is what you do because it's right, not because it might look good on a website. I'm sure your company has your favorite causes that you support, and so does Westamerica. It's especially rewarding when you can take something you actually already love doing and channel it into something good. For me, I love mountain biking and I love coffee. Several years ago, I found out about a nonprofit that was providing cargo bikes to impoverished coffee growers in Rwanda. I knew I wanted to help. So my friends and I turned my 50th birthday ride into an annual fundraiser, and now 10 years later, we've raised over $860,000 for World Bicycle Relief and Team Africa Rising. And we, thank you. And we provided over 1,600 bikes to farmers, caregivers, and students in Africa. So your passion may not be mountain biking. And like Hal, you might like tea instead of coffee. I mean, seriously, Hal? But I bet there's a hobby or a sport or something you enjoy that you know that others enjoy doing as well. So why not get together and figure out how you can turn that passion into a way to give back? Fifth question is, who must do what? Earlier, we talked about the importance of establishing clear job descriptions and expectations for all key leadership roles. At Westamerica, each member of our executive team is the champion of a unique mission-critical business attribute, and each of us is very clear in our respective roles and relationships, and it's helped us to avoid turf battles. Final critical question is, what's most important right now? Or as we like to put it, what's our rallying cry? So let's face it, there's always a ton of things going on in our work days, and it's sometimes hard to set priorities. It's that tyranny of the urgent thing going on every day. When our executive team worked through this exercise together, we learned it was important to pick one primary initiative, something that impacts the health of the entire organization, and focus as a team until we can check it off the list. For the first 2 years, our rallying cry was to integrate our two different MIS systems and production workflows into a single unified system. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was kind of mind-numbing at times. It required a lot of effort, a lot of flexibility and compromise. Gratefully, we accomplished this rallying cry at the end of last year. So our current rallying cry is to develop successful e-commerce platforms that utilize the capabilities of our new wide format division. So this brings us to where we are today. So the merger, the heavy lifting is over now, gratefully. We felt, though, that it's good and important to continue to communicate and nurture our vision and our positive culture. We discovered that this wouldn't happen by accident. We had to be intentional about it. So we do this through our weekly focus meetings. That's the name that we use for our executive team meetings. We have bi-weekly payroll letters. These are written by our chairman and myself. Typical letter content includes company happenings, employee recognition, sales and client success stories, core values reinforcement. And we have monthly supervisory team meetings where we discuss company and departmental performance, and we share a coaching and a leadership lesson each month. We also have an ongoing focus on training and development we call our FIT program, or First in Training. For example, we strongly encourage and reimburse for employee education. We cross-train and promote from within whenever possible. And we have a dedicated computer workstation for online training courses that our employees can take on the clock. Finally, job applicants are interviewed by at least 2 or 3 of our employee team members in a structured guide that we use. This helps both our company and the potential employee get a broader perspective on whether it's a good fit. And we also implemented an intentional orientation process that both new hires and existing staff find really valuable. So we're still evolving in this multi-channel, omni-channel adventure. Today, we offer creative design, featuring a team of traditional and digital designers, print, both litho and digital, direct mail, including complex data analytics, processing. We also offer online digital media, including responsive website design, hosting of landing pages and microsites, email design, and distribution. Video, which is a relatively new initiative we started about a year ago, and I'm going to share more about video in a couple slides. And then fulfillment, which includes print on demand, kitting, warehousing, logistics, all driven from client-branded online storefronts. And launching very soon wide format products which are sold direct to consumers via a variety of e-commerce websites that are under development. I want to focus on video for a couple of minutes because I believe we have a great opportunity as an industry. We got into video because we couldn't ignore it. Almost every one of our clients are already using video for one purpose or another, whether it's internally for training or for recruitment or externally for marketing and promotion. I'm pretty sure most of your clients are using it too. It's the fastest growing medium for communication. There's a few stats are on display that prove that. One that got my attention was the more than 1 billion users that visit YouTube each month, spending over 4 billion hours watching videos. Of course, none of that is while they're on the clock for you, but they're doing it at some point during their day. So I had to admit, we know very little about video, but we know people who do. So we aligned ourselves with one of the best in our area in a strategic partnership that it really benefits both parties. They had video expertise but no salespeople. We had salespeople but no video expertise. So we created a strategic alliance. So our partner represents himself as Westamerica Executive Producer. He pre-plans and makes joint calls, conducts go-to-meetings with our account reps. Our reps simply make the intro to the clients, and our executive producer does most of the rest. And we both win with a revenue share agreement. So once we put our alliance together, we developed promotional tools and a campaign to launch this initiative. Our promotions, of course, included email, direct mail, capabilities brochure, but yes, a video. You know the old saying, sell the sizzle, not the steak? First thing we created was what videographers call a sizzle reel. It's typically a video with a lot of action, not a lot of words. It's intended to create kind of a fast-paced, stylized overview of a product or a service. So in addition to sizzle reel, I'm learning all kinds of new terms now. For example, I learned it's a good idea to capture B-roll footage while on a shoot. This is basically video that is typically used for filler or background while a narrator does some voiceover. Before our video partnership, I didn't even know how to spell B-roll. So, now here's an example of a sizzle reel we used when we launched our video services. So what's in it for you if you get into video? So here's just a few of the benefits that are available. So videos, yeah, they can bring in additional revenue to your firm. It gives your reps another reason to call, another arrow in the quiver. And it opens the door to other traditional work. Most of your prospects don't really want to take a call from yet another printer. But many are open to talking about video. It's a door opener. There's been times where we may have had an appointment to talk about video, but we didn't win the video project, but we did win a new print client. Some of the lessons we learned, rep training is required, and it can be a slow learning curve. As you probably expect, many of our legacy reps tend to be a little hesitant to embrace new technology. So you may need to focus your training on newer or more hungry reps. We learned how to present video and how to price it. We learned not just to take specs and spit out a quote like we might do for print, but rather to uncover the client's budget first. Knowing their budget in advance helps us have a direct impact on how the video will be scripted, shot, and produced, and therefore how much it will cost and what it will be priced. And we learned how to answer the question, how much does a video cost? We like to compare it to the question, how much does dinner cost? And if you're going to McDonald's, you expect to pay a certain price for a certain level of product. But if you go to a fine dining restaurant, you expect to pay a little more, but you also expect to be treated a little differently. So we like to think of ourselves as the fine dining experience in video. So let's talk about channels. Once you offer more than print and open yourself up to offering multi-channel solutions, you never know what kind of projects you may run into. There are a ton of marketing channels being used today by your clients. As I mentioned before, in addition to print, your clients may be using email, video, websites, landing pages, social media, online ads, product packaging even, trade shows, promotional events, many others. So you don't have to offer them all. We found out we just needed to pick a few and get started. I've already shared the various channels we're currently offering, and I'm going to show you now a few of our recent projects just to give you an idea of the variety of marketing campaigns that we're asked to produce today. Mellanox is a technology company that provides switches and server solutions. They were launching a huge international sales incentive program, and they came to us and asked for just a little help with some design. So with top prizes such as a Range Rover and an all-inclusive African safari, we knew this was one of those rare times where we had a big budget to work with, so we made the most of it. And we were able to deliver so much more than just the design. Working closely with their team, our structural design team created a centerpiece package component, something that would keep the participants engaged and involved throughout the entire 8-month program. We fashioned a box to look like a vintage suitcase, complete with a magnetic clasp and a plastic handle. And our creative team designed all the case contents, including passports, brochures, replica switchgear. And to keep the campaign momentum going over the course of the 8 months, each month we mailed participants a campaign update letter, as well as a collection of travel stickers that they could place on the suitcase. So in true multi-channel fashion, we provided structural digital design, email blasts, web and mobile optimized creative content, and of course print and direct mail, all supporting one central campaign. The result, a substantial increase in switch sales since the start of the program. Best known for her book Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand was a philosopher, author, activist, 20th century. Ayn Rand Foundation exists to continue her work and to support the distribution of her reading in classrooms. So they came to us to print the brochure, and then we simply started asking some questions. When we learned what the purpose of the brochure was and how it was going to be distributed, our client trusted us to handle their complete mailing as well. So beyond just print, this project ultimately included target marketing strategy, list research, recommendations, complete letter and package fulfillment, and post-campaign analysis that helps our client determine their highest donors and best segments for future targeting. So you've heard of that "want any French fries with that burger" suggestive selling strategy. In our case, the French fries were the list acquisition and the mailing services. And this represented over $6,000 of the $24,000 project. Yeah, I'll take some ketchup with those French fries. Our financial services division has been working with banks and credit unions since 1991, and we've developed a lot of relationships over the years. One of these relationships went from customer to partner in the creation of the Loan Generator, which is a new digital lending platform. We're now a licensed reseller of software that allows banks and credit unions to offer perpetual on-the-fly loan approval on a mobile app. Our role in this partnership is in the area of marketing and program fulfillment, including personalized letters and email blasts. Soon, it's going to include text messaging and geo-targeting. And as it continues to evolve, we're going to indirectly be involved in the auto business as we connect this platform to car dealerships through the power of a new partnership with Edmunds.com. Our client, Freedom Innovations, makes some amazing prosthetic devices. After years of extensive R&D, Freedom was ready to launch their newest product, a revolutionary new artificial knee. They wanted to showcase this product in video animation for both their website and trade show environments. So we partnered with our video producer and a 3D modeling firm to produce this video. And I want to show it to you, not just to demonstrate the capabilities of 3D modeling, but mostly to expose you to the amazing technology that's available in prosthetic limbs today. So producing 3D animated video, definitely outside the box of traditional printing, right? But with an open mind and the right partners surrounding you, you can do almost anything. Now let's talk about the future. In our efforts at Westamerica to figure out where we go next, we came across this helpful growth strategy tool. Products and markets are evaluated in 4 different quadrants. The top left corner is called product penetration. This is how can we sell more of our current products to current clients. At Westamerica, we uncover these opportunities through the periodic business review or PBR process, and I'm going to share more about that in a couple of slides. The top right corner is expansion. This refers to selling current products to new markets. In this quadrant, we plan to expand our storefront online fulfillment solution to new targeted vertical markets. The bottom left is called development. And what are some new products that we can develop to sell to existing clients? So we believe our new video and wide format offerings both have strong potential for growth within our current client base. And then the bottom right is diversification. This is developing new products to sell to new markets. So at Westamerica, we're creating a portfolio of e-commerce websites that each offer specialty and customized products. In a couple weeks, we're going to launch our first venture, customized and personalized yoga mats. Anybody do yoga in here? All right, well, make sure you look us up because we're going to have some, you can put your own picture on the yoga mats. We're also engaged in content development, publishing for both printed and electronic books, beginning with a line of children's books that focus on positive social values. You probably don't have a crystal ball, and neither do we. At Westamerica, we really don't know what we're going to look like in 10 years. We just know we're going to look different than we do today. From time to time, we intentionally step back from the day-to-day and allow ourselves to dream a little bit about the future. We try to do this about once a quarter, sometimes over a martini or a glass of wine. That's usually when the best ideas come out. At least we think so at the time. Here's an example of a whiteboard from one of our recent vision planning meetings. Today, about 80% of our revenue comes from traditional litho. And we fight the same competitive battles that most of you do, and our margins are razor thin. To improve our profitability, we want to diversify and grow revenue outside of traditional litho, including e-commerce, content development, electronic publishing, and specialty wide format products. So by the year 2020, we'd like to see litho be 60% of our overall revenue, not because it declined, but because these other channels are growing. And in 10 years, we expect to see our e-commerce specialty products and publishing services grow to be about 60% of our revenue, with margins dramatically higher than where we're experiencing today. Now, will that happen? I don't know, but our ship is moving in that direction. The past few years have really been a classroom for us. We've learned from our own experiences and mistakes. But even better, we've been blessed to be surrounded by good advisors and wise mentors. And I take good notes. I like to say that the shortest pencil is better than the longest memory. So in our remaining time together, I'd like to share some of the most important lessons we've learned at Westamerica. Lesson 1 for us was face your fear. Before we could change, the leadership of Westamerica needed to overcome our fear of change, both personally and professionally. We learned that we needed to stop looking in the rearview mirror and instead focus on a new and perhaps radically different future. So if you're feeling any kind of fear about your business future as well, you're not alone. I encourage you to face your fear head on. Lean into it. It's going to make you stronger. And I don't know what it is about most of us humans. We have such a hard time with change. And we may not like where we're at, but we find ourselves stuck in these kind of sick comfort zones that really aren't very comfortable at all. But before you can change, you must first decide to change. Don't wait until you feel the heat. Most of us don't leave the comfort of where we are until we're motivated by a clear vision of something better. So schedule some time for some vision casting. Give yourself permission to dream, and then take steps to move toward your dream. Some of my best friends describe themselves as lifelong learners, and that inspires me. I don't read books very often, but when I do, I have a tendency to devour them. And I highly recommend this one. It's called This Point Forward by Dr. Joe Webb and Richard Romano. They provide tons of advice on how you can position your business to not just survive, but to thrive by the year 2020. A few of the insights I found most valuable were: transitions always involve risk. Avoid hunkering down, waiting for things to return to the way they were. The good old days are long gone and they ain't coming back. According to Webb and Romano, inertia works both ways. I always knew an object at rest would stay at rest, but they remind us that an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by some external force. So get yourself in motion. At Westamerica, we're not exactly sure where we're going to end up, but we are moving forward. A greenfield project. That's a real estate development term. Unlike a redevelopment project that's constrained by having to work around existing infrastructure, a greenfield project literally refers to an open green field with no prior development. So when we cast our vision for our business, the authors challenge us to start with a clean green field, unrestricted by any pre-existing infrastructure and limitations. Now, this is a great brainstorming exercise, and it frees us up to some pretty outside-the-box thinking. Finally, they do acknowledge that as owners and leaders, we do have to find a way to successfully manage the ongoing business, manage the transition, and manage the new business. It might require that you bring in some additional help in order to get that done. Okay, so with all the labor laws out there, I know we're not supposed to say this kind of thing out loud, but we're intentionally looking to hire some young, new talent to join our team. We need their energy, we need their enthusiasm, their creativity. Young people have no concept of the good old days, so they bring a fresh perspective, unburdened by a "this is how we do it here" mentality. Plus, if you know you're looking for an exit strategy one day, you should be starting now to groom a younger team so they're prepared to take over when you're ready to leave. By the way, some of my industry peers have found some success by recruiting college interns as a way to pre-screen and then ultimately to hire new members to their team. Chances are the young people that you hire and the young people who buy from you today are millennials between the ages of 18 and 34. And guess what? They think and act differently than us boomers. I recently had the privilege to hear a presentation on connecting with the millennial generation by a gal named Gabrielle Bosch. A millennial herself, Gabrielle is a subject matter expert, and she regularly presents to Fortune 500 companies around the US. I'm going to share just a couple of examples of things I learned from Gabrielle. Millennials have short attention spans. They want to work with an organization that's dynamic and forward-thinking, not stale and stuffy. Don't tell them about an event or an opportunity that's 6 months or longer out. That's going to feel like an eternity to them. Instead, help them connect that what they're doing today impacts the mission that you're achieving together. And they're mentor-starved. Millennials want to be taken seriously. They don't want to be treated like kids. They actually want to learn from us older and wiser folks. So intentionally mentor and speak into the lives of young people. Millennials want authenticity. They want leaders that are open and honest. So don't pretend like you've never made a mistake. Instead, tell stories of how you've used those mistakes to help shape you and your organization. And they're mobile. Millennials move quickly between jobs and cities, and they desire a digital community to stay connected and involved. But as a marketer, Gabrielle says, don't just capture their emails. Millennials don't check their inboxes. In fact, most of them have several email accounts, some of which are used to just collect the spam that you and I are sending to them. But there is good news for our industry. Gabrielle says that direct mail is a great way to reach millennials. She says they love to get actual mail. Mailboxes are less cluttered today, so your mail stands out. And if your offer is relevant, compelling, attractive, you're going to get their attention. Another lesson we learned is to protect your culture. Healthy beats smart every time. So do everything you can to create an environment that minimizes politics and confusion and nurtures high morale and positive culture. When your employees feel appreciated and empowered, when they know exactly what's expected of them, there's almost nothing that you can't accomplish together. If you'd like to add new services to your marketing mix, seek out professionals who are already successful in that space. Chances are they want to grow their business too, and together you can work out a mutually beneficial strategic alliance. Not only is it a win-win for you and your strategic partner, but your clients win too. Many clients are actively seeking ways to reduce their supplier lists, which is good news if you make the cut, but it sucks if you don't. So you're already a trusted vendor. Be sure you make the short list by offering even more of the services that your clients are looking for. We use the Tingle versus technical decision guide when we evaluate prospective new hires. It's like a matrix, technical on one axis, Tingle on another. Technical is a measure of a person's knowledge, skills, competency. Tingle describes their drive, their passion, and their self-motivation. So depending on the position, one of these may be more important than the other. But if in doubt, we take Tingle over technical every time. A person with high Tingle is going to take it upon themselves, self-motivated, to learn whatever they need to technically to do their job. So you're going to have a high Tingle, high technical superstar in no time. So in college, we used to drink PBRs. But this PBR stands for Periodic Business Review. And it's one of the most valuable things you can do to cement your relationship with key clients. In a nutshell, it's an intentional, pre-planned, orchestrated client meeting, typically held annually, designed to exchange information of mutual importance. And of course, you're going to be expressing appreciation for that client's business. But additional benefit, you're going to walk away with a better understanding of your client's objectives and how you can serve them better. At Westamerica, we typically schedule them over a working lunch, either at the client's office or at a restaurant nearby. Sid Chadwick is my industry peer group leader. Some of my peer group is here today, in fact. He's developed a comprehensive guide to planning and conducting effective PBRs, and I'm sure he would be happy to share it with you if you contact him directly. If you're feeling stuck, start by taking stock of what you are, who you are, and what you have to work with. I remember that scene in the movie Apollo 13. These engineers, they dump out a bunch of stuff onto the table, and they're trying to figure out how to create an air filter to save the astronauts that are up there, and they box of random parts. In the same way, when you look at what you've already got and you begin to think creatively, you might just find some business life-saving resources right under your nose. And if you find any gap between what you have and what you need, why not walk before you run and start forming some strategic alliances? SIBTN stands for Something is Better Than Nothing. Just start by doing something. You can begin even today. And grab your smartphone, open your calendar, schedule a meeting for Monday morning with your executive team, start brainstorming. One other idea, at the end of each of my industry peer group meetings, Sid challenges us to share a feet to the fire commitment with the group. You know you're going to be exposed to a lot of new ideas at the expo, so I encourage you to write down just one thing that you commit to doing when you return, and then share it with someone else for a little accountability. Here's a list of some of the resources I've referred to in today's presentation. It's, I believe, in your notes as well. And I included my contact information. I don't claim to be an expert, but I'm available if you have questions or you want to swap some omni-channel, multi-channel adventure stories. Also, if you decided to make a feet to the fire commitment and you don't feel you have anyone that you can share it with to hold you accountable, send me an email and I'll reach out to you and see how you're doing. In conclusion, our Westamerica story is still unfolding. We have many more chapters yet to write. For sure, there's going to be some curves and plot twists thrown our way. But we're energized and motivated to make the rest of our life be the best of our life. As for you, your story's not over yet either. You have an opportunity to create the happy ending that you desire. And for me personally, all this focus on creating something new is giving me renewed energy and excitement that I haven't felt in business in a long time. But even more importantly, I'm blessed to share that I found love and joy and happiness in my life once again. eHarmony does work, and I'm blessed to share that Leslie and I are just celebrating 4 months of happily wedded bliss. So thank you. Thank you.